What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm here today to give you the review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 3, Episode 7, titled Blue Skies and Blue Eyes. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so the episode opens up where it ended last week, and that was with Candace and Giselle arguing back and forth with each other. So eventually, those two bitches stop hecking and pecking with each other, and they get they finish their food, and then they get up from eating their food, and they just go take a tour of the grounds, see where they all gonna be sleeping at, and all that kind of stuff. And then I believe it was Giselle that mentioned that Monique had drank the whole bottle of alcohol. And when Giselle said that, I'm like, bitch, she on vacation. Like, what do you do when you're on vacation? You get fucking drunk. Like, you have fun. You drink shit. That's all you do when you're on vacation. You ain't got no responsibilities. You don't have no kids. You don't have no husband, wife, whatever. So I was a little bit annoyed when Giselle mentioned that about her being drunk. And then, like I said, when they all broke apart from each other. So you had Candace in her room, and she was on the phone talking to Chris, and she was talking mighty loud because Ashley and Monique actually overheard her conversation with Chris. And she was just telling him about Giselle telling her to shut the fuck up, and then her getting into it with Sharice on the bus and calling Sharice a geriatric grandma, and then actually you had Karen, who actually agreed with her about calling Sharice out, but she wasn't here for Candace calling her the geriatric grandma and a bitch and all that kind of stuff, which I wasn't here for it either. I mean, granted, Sharice did call her a little girl, but a little girl didn't give her the right to call her a bitch and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely agree with that. And then, like I said, when she was talking to Chris, Chris's thing was just don't let those women talk to her like that, which I agree with that shit as well. Don't let anybody just talk to you any kind of fucking way like you're a grown ass woman. And then, when Candace and Ashley were listening to her, they were just, Monique and Ashley were listening to her. Monique's whole thing was when she told her what she told her, that was not for her to bring that back up again. It was more so in the sense of when something happens and you don't like it, immediately say something. Don't just sit there and laugh and hee and ha ha with them, and then be upset. And then when you get around them again, you want to say some shit to them. Like, I absolutely 100% agree with Monique when she said that, because that is some real ass shit. Like, if you got a problem with somebody and you don't like something that they said, address it then. Don't try to bring it back up, 10 minutes later or 10 hours later or 10 days later or 10 weeks later. Say that shit right then, right there. That way it's no misunderstandings and you get it out. But then you also have Candace. Well, while Candace was on the phone with Chris, Monique actually walked in there. Monique was like she was just trying to take a nap. And then, Candace's whole thing was when she told Chris, well, I guess I'm talking loud, so I'll talk to you later. And then, Candace and Monique actually have a talk with each other. I actually don't remember what the fuck they were talking about. But I do, it was about, what I just said a few minutes ago about, when she has a problem with somebody, say it then and don't wait and say it. And Monique's whole thing is she is friends with Sharice, but she feels like she's stuck between a hard place because she actually likes Candace. Like, I don't really feel like you should be stuck between a hard place. Like, Sharice knew what she was doing when she made that comment, and Candace said something to her. So it's not, you shouldn't be stuck between a rock and a hard place with that one. Candace spoke up her mind. Candace said what was on her mind, and Sharice had to sit there and listen to it. I mean, it is what it is. And then you get Giselle in her room. She's calling Sherman. When she called Sherman, I think she was trying to FaceTime Sherman, but when she called him, dude completely ignored her phone call. I was like, damn, that's got hurt. That you on vacation, you just trying to talk to your dude, and he ignoring you. And, she was telling us how her and Sherman used to talk, I think 2 times a day or something like that, and now she don't even talk to him that much. I'm like, eee, that's bad business, girl. You got to figure that out with you and Sherman. And then, Robin comes in, and then she and Robin are talking, and, they're talking about Monique's drinking once again. I'm like, damn, will y'all leave this girl alone with her fucking drinking? Like, the bitch is on vacation. But, Giselle's whole thing was, she she was drinking before she had an accident, and, I don't, I get that. I get what everybody's trying to say. Monique has young kids, and she was behind the wheel of a car, and she had been drinking. But I don't think that Monique would get behind the wheel of the car with her kids in the car with her. And, so that's pretty much how I feel on that whole situation of Monique's drinking. And we'll get into that a little bit later in this review. So next we get this dinner scene with all the girls together, and Ashley's just telling us how she's only been in Nemacola once with her grandfather, and they're sitting at the table and they're having a four-course dinner, and when they showed the cell phone, I actually thought it was Karen that was texting the whole time. I either thought it was Karen or Monique that was texting the whole time, but no, it was Ashley texting the whole time. And then they showed the text messages. It was Ashley's mama bothering her, asking her for was it $500 or $5,000? I'm like, damn, your mama is trying to like that bitch is really fucking using you. Like you don't see that, Ashley. Like I hate to talk about people's mamas like that, and it is Mother's Day, but your mama is a leech. Like she's trying to use you. Like you don't. And I feel bad for Ashley not seeing that and all that kind of stuff. And then Ashley let us know that her mom has to move out of her house, and she doesn't know where her mom's gonna stay. And to be quite honest with you, and I hate to say this shit, but if I was Ashley, I really wouldn't give a fuck where my mama stayed. To be honest with you, because like I said, her mama is using her, and it's not really her mama that's using her. It's her mama and her no good ass boyfriend that's using her, Ashley. And at this point, Michael is fed up with that shit. Like I don't blame Michael. He's an able-bodied man that can work. Like Ashley said, her mama found him in a tent. So obviously the nigga know how to do something if he can pitch a fucking tent. Like, get out of here with that shit, man. And then, I think it was Giselle that asked Ashley, what was the state of her and Michael's relationship right now. And, she was like, Michael wants her to cut her mom off. And Giselle agreed that it is time for her to show her mom some tough love and cut her mama off, which it is true. Like, your mom and her boyfriend can go out there and get a job. McDonald's hires, Burger King hires, all kind of fast food places hire. Hell, stores in the malls hire. So it's not like saying that they can't get a job. Like unless they have a disability, but actually never said that they have disabilities. So those two motherfuckers can get their lazy asses up and go get a fucking job and do something productive instead of just sitting there trying to leech off of Ashley. Because like I've said plenty of times before in my reviews when it comes to Ashley and her mama, what is Ashley's mama going to do if Michael divorces her? All the money that Ashley has is from Michael. So I don't know what they would do because I don't believe that the Real Housewives of Potomac pays that much. I know they don't pay nearly as much as the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I don't know what Ashley and her mama would do. Actually, I don't know. It's not Ashley. I don't know what her mama would do without Michael's money. So Ashley, it's time to cut your mama off. Like wean that bitch off the nipple. Real talk. And then you have Robin over in the corner talking about, talking about finances and all that stuff. I'm like, girl, if you mention finances one more fucking time, I'm so sick of you and Juan and y'all financial situation. But she's talking about how she feels sorry for Ashley. I can't really say, I know, I can't even say I feel sorry for Ashley because I really don't at this point. It's like Ashley's either blind or naive to seeing that her mom is using her. So I can't really 100% feel bad for Ashley. At first, I did feel bad for Ashley before we got into the whole situation of what is going on between Ashley and her mom. But at this point, like I said, it is time for Ashley to cut her mom off and let her mom fend for herself. She's a grown-ass woman. Like, she can fend for herself. It's not that hard. So suck it up and get a job, bitch. And then while they're sitting at the dinner table, Candace's mom calls her. And Candace's whole thing is like, she needs to set boundaries with her mom because she doesn't want to have a situation like Ashley with her and Chris. But I'm like, ho, Confrita, you'll never have a situation like that because Chris ain't got money, so you ain't got to worry about that. If it were, if the roles were flipped and Chris was using your money to take care of his mom, then that would be a different story. But your mama's taking care of you and Chris, so yeah, you might want to rework that, rethink that. But I agree you need to have boundaries, but you ain't going to have the situation that Ashley's having. Your mama has money. I don't know what Chris's family has, but your mama got money, so you ain't got to worry about none of that situation that's going on between Ashley and, what is her husband's name? Michael. And then you got Karen. I was like really confused with Karen while they were sitting at that dinner table. And, she's talking about how she has hard feelings. I thought she was saying she had hard feelings for Robin, but no. She has hard feelings for Giselle and Charisse. And the reason why she has hard feelings toward those two is because of the names that they've called her husband Ray, Uncle Jessup, as Forrest Rocks calls him. She, how they call him Uncle Ben, the black broke Bill Gates and all that kind of stuff. And Karen's whole thing is that it hurt him, but, and she wants him to apologize to him. And they were like, okay, we can apologize to him. Actually know why it came up. Karen ass was fucking drunk at that table. That's why that shit came up. So, she was sitting there talking about that. And then Robin chimed in and she was like, well, what are they apologizing for? Calling him Uncle Ben? And she was like, stop right there, Robin. And Robin said, what? And then, she kept going again. And then out of nowhere, she called Robin a ditzy bitch. And then Robin was like, oh, you call me a ditzy bitch and all that kind of stuff. And then they go back and forth. And then, they tried to tell Karen to apologize to Robin. But each time she apologized, there was a but in the apology. It's like, and then Robin's whole thing was like, "But I don't feel like she mean it." Nah, shit, Sherlock, she don't mean it. Like she's saying sorry because they're telling her to say sorry. But she finally did apologize for calling her a ditzy bitch. But Robin is a ditzy ass bitch. Like, come on, she's a ditzy bitch. Like, what kind of bitch is gonna be with a man that? I just don't get Robin. I'm not gonna go into that old situation with Robin and Juan right now because I'm over those two. And then a little later that night, we got producers cam of it was, I believe it was Karen and Charisse in a hot tub or jacuzzi with Monique, Ashley, and Candace, and they were all still drinking. So they had a hell of a night, and it'll play out a little bit later in the review. All right, so next we get day two. You get the girls waking up and getting ready to get the day's event started. So you have Candace and Monique. They're in the bathroom, and Candace is well, not Candace. Monique is talking about how from the accident she had whiplash and all this stuff. She's talking about all the things she does. And I get it, Monique. You're a jack of all trades, but so many single mothers out there that do so much stuff, do as much as you do, or probably more than you do, and they never complain about what they do. And you have a husband, so you have it a little bit easier than some of the single moms that I know. So you know, I mean, like I said, I get it, but I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for Monique when it comes to her whole situation of, working, having her kids, and balancing her relationship with Chris. It's like, you can get it done. You're just, you'll figure it out. And then you have, not Monique, Giselle and Charisse with each other. And, Charisse is telling her about the night before, how she and Karen were hanging out with each other, and how right now she feels a little bit closer to Karen. And then she was letting Giselle know that Karen told her something that I don't believe she either meant to tell her Charisse, or that she even planned to tell Charisse, which will actually get into what she told what Karen told Charisse. I guess it was actually after that whole them out there at the pool with the other girls. I guess Charisse and Karen must have hung out with each other and talked to each other after that situation. So, like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later when the girls go to dinner at the end of the day. So then you get the girls to split up each other. You have some girls going shooting and some girls going fishing. And of the girls that are going fishing, you have Karen, Giselle, you have Monique, and you have Charisse going fishing. And then the girls that are going shooting is Ashley, it's Candace, and it's Robin. And then, Giselle was throwing a little shade at Candace, talking about, she's glad that Candace went to with the other girls. And I read on Twitter where, Candace was like, she was glad to be in the car with the other girls. So next we're going to talk about the shooting and the fishing. So like I said, you had Ashley, Candace, and Robin. They went clay pitching shooting. And, it looked like a really good fun time for the girls. I actually want to do that. It looks really fun. So you had Candace go first, and, she was afraid about the gun, if it was going to hurt when it went off and all that kind of stuff. And, she did hers, and she hit it on first time. And then you had Robin go, and Robin hit hers on the first shot. And then, you had Robin, and so when next it was Ashley's turn to go, and you just had Robin and Candace having a good time with each other. Candace was like, it hurt her face. And then Robin was like, yeah, because there's a bruise on your face. And she's like, it is. And then, Robin was like, she was just messing with it and all that kind of stuff. And it was really fun to see that, Robin said despite, how, Candace and Giselle got into it, she said she actually likes Candace, which I'm like, okay, that's cool. You're not going off on a girl, and you're actually having fun with this girl, despite the fact that her and Giselle can, see eye to eye on stuff. And really, that was really stupid what they couldn't see eye to eye on, because it had nothing to do with Giselle. But that's neither here nor there. So, like I said, you had Ashley shooting hers, and the first one that they did, Ashley missed, and then I think the second one she missed. But then, she said let her channel in and picture her mama's boyfriend's face on there, and after that, she just started hitting them back to back to back. And Ashley was like, she didn't realize she had so much pent up aggression toward her mom's boyfriend. I'm like, anybody can tell you got so much pent up aggression toward him. Like that nigga is not no good. He's a no good ass nigga that ain't doing shit. And like I said before, they are leeching onto you and using you for everything that you got. But Ashley is a smart girl, and she would figure out what to do with her mom and that no good ass. And once the other girls are finished with the clay pigeon shooting thing, they all get back in the car, and this is where Ashley brings up the whole situation with Monique once again. And she's talking about how she's worried about Monique, and how when she and Monique went out to dinner that day, or lunch or whatever, that Monique actually had 4 martinis, and she's telling this to Robin, and I'm like, oh shit. You telling this to Rob like this bitch is gonna play monkey see, monkey do, and run back and run tell dat. I'm like, okay, this is how this is gonna play out. And while I'm on the subject of Blue Eyes, they're still sitting there, and Sharice was like, when she and Karen had that conversation the night before, she said that Karen told her that she was Sharice up on a date with Blue Eyes, and Karen was like, that's a lie, and I was like, whatever. And then Giselle asked, did Ray want them apologize to him for calling him the broke Bill Gates and Uncle Ben and all that stuff? And Karen was like, no, but she feels like they do owe him an apology for all that stuff that calling him all those names. Which I mean, I agree with that, but well, actually, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it was fun and it was shade, so it wasn't anything to take wholeheartedly. It's fun in games. Like everybody on Twitter calls him Uncle Ben and all that kind of stuff. So it comes with the territory. Like you're on a reality show, so And then I think they asked, how does Ray feel about Blue Eyes? And she said Ray is okay with it and all that kind of stuff. She said, he's just her driver, so there's nothing for she and Ray are solid and all this kind of stuff. And we'll get into that a little bit later about Ray and Karen's situation. And so once all the girls are done with their individual things, the clay pigeon shooting and the fishing, they all meet up to do a rope course. And Ashley's whole thing with this rope course is for it to, bring them all together and make them bond a little bit more. And I'm like, good luck with these bougie, uptight ass bitches. But so they all get to the rope course, and everybody's pretty much game for it, minus Giselle and Karen. I don't really remember if I don't even know if Sharice ever got up there, but I do know that Candace, she did the obstacle course. Monique did it, Robin did it, and Ashley did it. Which those were the ones that I definitely expected to do it because just like when it came to Candace's soccer ball event, those were the only ones that participated in that, and you had Karen and Giselle on the sidelines. But in this one, Karen and Giselle did participate, but they only got on the one that was 4 feet, and they were being extra, and well, actually, it was just Karen that was being extra and exaggerating with it. I'm like, girl, you are just a little bit above off the ground. Like, why are you making all that noise? It's not even that deep for you to be making that kind of noise. But it was all fun to see them actually just sit there and bond with each other and have a good time with each other. And then actually, while they were, while the girls were on that one that was high up off the ground, Ashley and Robin actually kind of bonded with each other. And Robin was like, maybe she can see a difference, see some things differently when it comes to her and Ashley's relationship. And I'm like, I hope that they can see things differently because they're not too far apart from each other. They are kind of like one and the same when it comes to a lot of different things. They have a lot of things in common. And I hope that they can, work on a relationship and figure things out. And then lastly, we get the day 2 dinner. So, everyone is at the dinner table, minus Ashley. Ashley was actually late to the dinner table. And then Ashley's whole thing was, her being in Neiman Cola is reminded her of, when she was there, like I said earlier in the video, it reminded her of when she went there with her grandfather. And then, she's talking about the reason why she was always with her grandparents was because her mom put more priority into her relationship than she did into Ashley. And I'm thinking to myself, you can still see that she's putting more priority on her current relationship than she is with you. She's just using you because you have money. And I think a light bulb went off in Ashley's head when she said that. It's like, it's time for Ashley, even Ashley said it's time for her to put her relationship before her mom. And I hope that means that, she's finally at the point of where she's ready to cut her mother off and make her mom fend for her own self. Because, like Ashley said, a little girl, your mom put a man before you. That's crazy to think that you would put a man before your child. And you still put a man before your child. So, like I said, I hope a red light, not a red light, but a light bulb went off in Ashley's head about her mom. And then while they're sitting at the table, they're all discussing the day's events. And, the girls that went fishing, they were just telling the other girls how they discussed them and all that kind of stuff. And, they were talking about, Monique actually talking about how she was talking about how the situation between Sharice and Candace, and they went into that whole thing again. And, not Sharice, but Candace said that, she felt like maybe Sharice was jealous of her being friends with Monique. And, she was talking about, well, why, Sharice was like, why would she be jealous and all that kind of stuff. And then, Ashley mentioned something about Monique, agreeing or something like that. And, Monique's whole thing was she never said anything about Sharice being, jealous of her. But then Bravo played that clip back where they were at that store, which that clip really didn't prove too much. It's just that, Candace did say something, but Monique just kind of laughed it off, so that it really didn't prove a whole lot that, to validate that Monique was actually saying that Sharice was jealous of her and her and Candace being friends with one another. But then Candace does take it upon herself to apologize to Sharice for calling her a bitch, which I think that was big of Candace. And, I don't really think Sharice half-assed well, she doesn't apologize to Candace at all, but, they moved on from that. And then you get Robin asking, saying that she's worried about Monique and her drinking. And she lets her know that Ashley said that, when they went out to lunch that day, that she had four martinis. And then, Monique was like, no, I only had 2 drinks. And then Ashley's whole thing was, no, we actually had 3 drinks. And then, Monique was like, she ordered 1 drink, but she sent the other drink back that she didn't like. So she only had 2 drinks. And, she was like, she wasn't tipsy when she got in her car. She was just sleepy when she got in her car. So there's a big difference between her being drunk and being sleepy, which, sometimes when it comes, and then they were talking about, well, and it was just though they brought it up, if she had got pulled over by the cops, she still would have, they still would have arrested her for, being under influence. And then Karen lets us know that she has a DUI. And, she put her little 2 cents in, which I really respected that. You know, I think the girls are concerned about her. And I'm concerned, you don't want to think that the girl, I'm not saying that the girl has a drinking problem, but 1 drink, 2 drinks, any amount of drinks is too many. And then, Monique was like, it takes 5 drinks for her to throw up. And I'm like, you don't even want to get to that point and get behind the wheel of a vehicle. Like, you fell asleep behind the wheel of a car. It could have been because of the alcohol, because sometimes alcohol has different effects on you. So, that was that situation. Then you get the side conversation with Ashley and Karen. And they're talking about Blue Eyes once again. And, and Karen is just trying to clear things up. She tells them about their situation. He's just her driver. If Karen says he's a driver, then he's her driver. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it ain't none of their business what Karen and Blue Eyes got going. And then, they're asking about her, how Ray feels about him and all that stuff. And she said Ray is cool with it. And, Ashley asked her if Karen and Blue Eyes had sex with each other. And then, Karen was like, well, did Michael and that man in London have sex with each other? And then Ashley gets in her feelings when she said that shit. And then, she's talking about anytime you bring something to Karen, and, she always wants to deflect from it. And I'm like, Ashley, once again, it's not your business. And then number 2, you didn't physically see Karen and Blue Eyes together. It was your stepson that saw Karen and Blue Eyes together, canoodling and all that kind of stuff. So you don't really know 100% for a fact that Karen and Blue Eyes had anything going on with each other. And then the episode kind of ended where, Sharice was talking about, again, I guess this goes back to early in the video when I said that Sharice was talking about that Karen told her something that she probably didn't even mean to tell her or not. But it was the fact that she said Ray asked Karen for a divorce. And Karen said yes, and that was how the episode ended. Excuse me. So that was the episode. Like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.